Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, everyone. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. जो तुम कहा सो निशाना होई, जो तुम मोरे मन प्रतीति अति सोई। तब शंकर देखियो धरि जाना, तब शंकर देखियो धरि जाना। सती जो कीन चरित सब जाना, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। बहुरी राम मायरी सिरुना, बहुरी राम मायरी सिरुना। प्रेरी सती जेही झूठका, हरि इच्छा भावी भरवाना, हरि इच्छा भावी भरवाना। हृदय विचारक सबो सुजाना, हृदय विचारक शंभु हृदय विचारक शंभु सुजाना। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। 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 बोलिए श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। So after the deception by Sati, जो तुम कहा सो मृषा न होई, this wonderful compassionate Shri Lord Shiva, what does he say? There is no doubt in my mind that you are telling me the truth. Isn't that true? And we know that Sati did what? She told a blatant lie. And we saw the lesson behind that. Now, Sati is not a bad person. As we said before, let's make a clarification. I like to do this it's very important. Sati, being any mother, wants to correct her children. Isn't that true? So she shows an example of not how to be at this point, but of how not to be. Make that abundantly clear. This whole Ramcharitmanas is a text on do's and don'ts of life. From Rama's birth to the end, he shows mankind how to be what? The most best brother in the world. The best leader. The best father. The best anything you can think of. Sri Ram has shown in the entire Ramayana. But not only Sri Ram shows, but Mother shows as well. And we know not only Sita showed, but Durga Ma, Parvati Ma, and Sati also. Even though a very controversial character in Ramayana, she shows mankind what? How to live. In the opposite way, what not to do.
Okay? So get that clear. So, Jo tum kaha so mrisha na hoi. Lord Shiva says that there is no doubt in my mind that you have told me the truth. And we all know what she did, right? She went to the forest, she disguised herself as who? Sita, hoping Sri Ram would fall for her trick. Because she wanted to test the God. In life, we all do that. We want to test. And we learn two words, right? Vishwas and Shraddha. We must go from having doubts to Vishwas, which is belief, to even something higher, which is Shraddha. And what is Shraddha? Implicit faith that a higher power, not only a higher power, but the knowledge of the self can be ours one day. This is what Shraddha is. Through Shraddha, we gain something called Mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam means the burning desire to do what? To one day realize that. Isn't that true? In this same Ramcharitmanas it is said, Jane binu na hoi paratiti na hoi parapriti. Without knowledge of someone or something, one gains no confidence. Isn't that true? And without confidence in someone or something, there never can be what? Priti. And what does priti mean? Love. Understand that. Imagine, we have a president of the United States, huh? You know absolutely nothing about him. Are you going to vote for him? No way. Only when you know something about him do you want to do what? You want to serve. Isn't that true? When you know, you want to serve. This is the progression. We have confidence enough in that person that yes, you have my vote. Yes, I will serve you. And then when you serve someone, what does that service turn into? Love at the end of the day. So you get to know first, then you gain confidence, and then you automatically what? We love. Before we had no clue about this. We had total avidya or ignorance about Paramaatma. But what happens with gurus? What happens with acharyas? What happens between us as we do satsang? We gain what? Knowledge of such a thing in our life. Isn't that right? When we gain knowledge, we gain confidence in this. How? Because we know it is that factor which enlivens the body, mind, and intellect to make us the perceiver, feeler, thinker in the world of objects, emotions, and thoughts. And then after we gain confidence because we know its power, then and only then what? Does matparaha or tatparaha happen? What is that? The ability to fall. Not fall. What did we say? Rise in love to Paramatma. See? When you rise in love, you can never fall. And the only way you can rise is if you attach yourself to something that is what? Avikara. Which is unchanging and which is considered to be what? Somebody said it. Higher. Para. Para means the highest, as we saw in Bhagavad Gita class this morning. Right? Para means the highest. Don't get stuck here at lower knowledge of the self. Get fastened at the highest. There's apara and para. Apara knowledge means your secular knowledge, zoology, biology, chemistry, and so on. PhDs, that's fine. But one must also aim to have para vidya, or the ability to be one with the self. Right? Good. So, Jo tuma kaha sumrishano hui, Lord Shiva says very innocently, my dear, I believe you. Okay? And we saw last night how good people are often taken advantage of. Isn't that true? But do you think Lord Shiva will stop being Lord Shiva? Do you think he'll stop being Karuna Sagar? Do you think he'll stop having that smile on his face? Whereas we know the people in New York have an upside down smile on their face. Yeah. They walk around in the subways. You can't smile, they'll think of something else of you. Jo tumakaha samashana hui more mana pratiti ati soi. And there is no doubt that you told me the truth. More man in my mind. There's absolutely no doubt. But then Lord Shiva does something that we all should do. What did he do? Tava Shankara dekhiyu dhari gyana. He does what? He thinks about the situation. He recalls his story to Sati. He recalls her face. In the Ramcharitmanas, we didn't go into that portion, but before this, the section that precedes shows Sati's distrust in her face alone. In life, we know exactly who the perpetrator is. First of all, it's kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, matsarya. Okay, given. Lust, anger, greed, attachment, false pride, and jealousy. It's called the Shat Ripu. Shat Ripu means the 6 enemies of human existence. But, especially to our youngsters, we know exactly in our life, especially friends, who are not the good ones. Just by what? Their actions. If you tell them, let's go to the mandir, early Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Let's go, let's pray to Bhagavan. What is the look on a fair weather friend's face going to be? Remember we saw the 3 categories of friends yesterday? Mm-hmm. What is the look on a fair weather friend going to be? I'd rather stay in my bed and sleep. Is that the company we should keep? No. We should keep the company of people who will take us to the highest. For example, today, Anupji took me to Laguna Beach. Do you think we discussed the price of potatoes there? No, we admired the beauty of the beach, no doubt. But we went further on to talk about Vedanta. We talked about what is Vairagya. We talked about what is Nitya Vastu Viveka. These are the friends that we must keep. Because only then do we do what? Only then are we taken to another level. You see? Tava Shankara Dekyu Dhari Dhyana. He used his intellect, and then what happened? Sati Jokin Hacharita Sabu Jana. He saw everything, the whole picture. Why? Because he is what Lord Shiva is, Antaryami. Isn't that true? He's in the mind of everyone. And when we say Shiva, in this aspect, Lord Shiva is considered to be Ishvara. Ishvara is Parama Atma fused with the total mind. The total mind. This is Ishvara, the one who knows everything. We in this human body are Vyashti. We work at the individual level. That's why we can't see beyond our own whims and fancies. Not you, me. Okay? Sometimes we become the most selfish individuals because we can't see beyond ourselves. But who is Ishvara? Who is the compassionate Lord Shiva? Karuna Sagar, isn't that true? What does the prayer say? Karapura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagim Praharam Sadavasantam Hirdayara Vinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. Karuna Sagar, Karapura Gauram Karuna Avataram. He is the abode of compassion. But what does that mean? He has the ability to reach beyond his own mind. And what does he do? He merges with the total mind. And when one can merge with the total mind, he is automatically given the title what? Ishvara. And when one transcends even that aspect, because that's still in the realm of Maya, right? Any mind is in the Maya. Mind equals Maya. That is the key. Because we saw in Bhagavad Gita class again, that what? This entire world exists here. Isn't that right? And the support of that is none other than Parama Atma. So when you transcend that, even albeit total-minded, you live here, then you've transcended that. Sati Jokin Hacharita Samujana. Because he has this power, because he is the total mind, because he is Antaryami as Ishvara is, isn't that true? Sati Jokin Ha. Whatever Sati did, he saw for a fact. Then something happened. After we saw that this Lord Shiva was taken advantage of, he is a good person, he was deceived. Let's see his response. Bahuri Ramamaya hi Sirunava. Lord Shiva acknowledges one power of God. Did he wallow in misery when he found out that Sati deceived him? He realized quickly that worry and sorrow and feeling bad about yourself really does nothing for you. Think about the last time you were hurt in life. And I don't know about you because you live in such a nice place. In New York, a lot of people get hurt easy because of the stress level. I don't know about here. I went to the beach today and I didn't see anybody stressed out. Stress level in New York high. It's super high. So as a matter of fact, what happens when stress levels are high? People, what? Fight with each other. Isn't that true? Words. Mantram vachan, they fight. In the mind, in the speech, and in actions also. So here we see, did Lord Shiva get perturbed one bit? Because he realized that it is the nature of people to do what? To change. Sati in the beginning must have been somebody very wonderful. But what happened in her mind? Some kind of vikara happened. A non-integration of her personality took place. And we saw what the integration means in Sanskrit, right? What does the word integration in Sanskrit mean? Yukti. Yukta means integrated personality. When we let the body and the senses run away with our mind, we become disintegrated or ayukta. And we saw in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 66. What is the shloka? Nasti buddhiya yuktasya ayuktasya cha abhavana. When there is no integration of your intellect, guess what happens? This aspect of the human embodiment is missing. Right? And we know that every single creature has a body, mind, and intellect. Isn't that true? Sorry, body and mind. But the human being has what? Plus one, which is the intellect. For example, on a hot summer day, I put a bowl of grapes in front of a 10-year-old boy and a monkey. Can you imagine this? Nice, cool bowl of grapes in front of a monkey and a 10-year-old boy on a hot summer day. What is the monkey going to do that the boy would not do? He's going to run and do what? Grab them and go away. Why? Because his mind is based on what? Ayukta, or just instinctual urges of the mind. But the monkey mind, made this very clear, is no different than ours. What is the only difference in our mind that is inclusive? A yukta mind, which is the intellect plus mind integration. When this happens, the 10-year-old boy wants the grapes. But what does he do? He thinks very carefully about it. This is the thing. So in life, when we get knocked down, when something goes wrong, do you think it is worthwhile to get upset? Do you think it's worthwhile to get vengeful? Do you think it's worthwhile to get angry? As we saw the other night, what does anger do for us? It gets us sick. Anger is like you drinking poison and wanting that person to die. Is that ever going to happen in a million years? No. Who's going to die in the process? Us. This is the thing. So Lord Shiva, being that all-wise, all-cool Ishvara, right? And we know that the mandir downstairs is very cool. It's cold in there. Because he loves cold weather. That's why he chose Kailash, right? That's why his real estate choice was Kailash. That's his place. So he's very cool and he kept calm. And what did he say? Bahuri Ramamaya hi Sirunava. The first thing he did was he bowed to what? The illusory power of Sri Ram. And what is that? Maya. Yamasa iti maya. This is the definition of maya in Sanskrit. Yamasa iti maya. Ya means that. Ma means no. Sa means there. That which is not there is maya. Okay? For some people, these kind of deceptions come easily. But because of maya, which is a very temporary thing, meaning the mind is one way one day, and then it changes the other day. When anything changes, know it to be what? Under the realm of Maya, right? Because what happens, let's take this human body for example. We are born one day, this body changes tremendously throughout our life, right? If you look at yourself when you're 5 years old, it's different. I was looking at the internet today and what's his name? Dharmendra turned 80 years old. Today, okay? They showed a picture of him when he was 17 and 80. And I couldn't help but think to myself, the Vedantic aspect, comes in. And then I couldn't help but think that that entity that's within him did not age. But what aged? I'm sure if he looks at himself in the mirror, he'll see that change firsthand because he's the one who's changing. That self, the witness, the God principle, the consciousness within, that never ages one day. You see? So he aged, whereas what? His true self did not age one bit. Bahuri Rama Mayahi, that change aspect in life doesn't only come in the human body, but it comes where? The mind also. As I said before, that person who loved you yesterday, right? He doesn't like you today. That person who doesn't like you today, what happens? That person is your best friend tomorrow. This is the way the mind works. Lord Shiva was totally okay with that. That's why he's considered to be what? All wise. You see? So wisdom starts with that sort of thinking. It's called prajna. Prajna means having steadfast wisdom in worldly knowledge first. Only when you're comfortable in the worldly sense can you do what? Can you have the ability to be a sthita prajna, or the one who abides in the consciousness. Okay? So, Bahuri Ramaya hi Sirunava, the first thing he does is pranam to that illusory power called Maya. Because he knows that it is Sri Ram's own power. Isn't that true? Brahman is the self within. Everything that we perceive in this world is because of that illusory power of Maya. Brahman is not in everything. Maya makes Brahman appear to be different through the mind. But Brahman is the silent what? Support of it all. You see how it works? So this book isn't Brahman. Maya makes this book appear to be how it is. But the existence factor in this book is Brahman. You understand? I am not Brahman. But the existence factor within me, right? Satchit Ananda, existence, consciousness, and bliss. That existence factor that allows all of us to be here, that is Brahman, that is Atman, that is Om, that is Pranav, whatever you call it, that is the existence factor in all beings. So Sri Ram bows to not that, Lord Shiva rather, bows to not this consciousness. What does he bow to? Maya. You see the beauty of Lord Shiva? He's not only praising Paramatma, but he also praises that aspect that allows us to be what? Misled in life. Isn't that true? Misapprehension of the self. Right? Okay. Preri satihi jehi jhuta kahava. And it is this power which has made sati do what? Deceive. Do you see the mindset of Lord Shiva? Again, he's not getting upset. As a matter of fact, he does what? He prays. Imagine if you did this in your life. The last time you felt hurt, the last time you felt down. Remember we saw proof that Hanumanji is present. Remember I told you my own story? For those of you who missed the story, you'll have to ask somebody who was here yesterday. Okay? I had my own experience with Hanumanji when I was going through some tough times. And I can tell you that Hanumanji came through. All you have to have again is what? Shraddha. Right? Just like any parent creates a child. Do you think that parent will ever leave that child alone? Even if that person was in the other side of the country studying. That parent will always do what? Ensure to call. Maybe even make a visit. I remember when I was studying in Sandipani in India for 2 years, my mother used to make surprise visits. I was sitting, I don't know how many of you have been there, but I was sitting in Anakshetra one day. And I was facing the kitchen area and backing the door. And my batchmate was in front of me. And he says, "Hey, isn't that your mom?" I said, "Stop joking." I turned around and she's there. This is the thing, right? So surprises happen in life all the time. Bhagavan is omnipresent. It's called Sarvavyapi. When he needs to be there, when his devotee is in trouble. What is the famous saying in the Bhagavad Gita? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Can you fill in the blanks? Dharmasya tadatmanyam shrijamyaham. When the going gets tough, when dharma is on the decline for any of my devotees, Shri Krishna says what? I will manifest myself there and then. So we read this all the time. We read examples of how Lord Shiva had this implicit faith, not only in Bhagavan, but in the Maya as well. And we read also that Shri Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutarama dharmasya tadatmanyam shrijamyaham. He comes himself. But yet, not you, the people in New York, we doubt the presence in our life. As a matter of fact, when the going gets rough, we think we have to get going. And then what does that do? It agitates us beyond belief. As I said before, whenever you're faced with a tough time, do this. Just sit in silence. And guess what? God will give you the solutions in your silence. But when the mind is agitated, when the mind is going 1,000,000 miles per hour, do you think God has a say? No. Why? Because the ego has taken over. And when we have ego, what happens? E-G-O. We edge God out. This is the thing. When we are stuck here at the level of perceiver, feeler, thinker, and we don't even acknowledge the presence of Ishvara or Parama Atma in our life, this is what happens, unfortunately. We go through tremendous pains, tremendous sufferings. Why? Because we think we are the karta, we think we are the doer. It is as simple as that. But if you can surrender, right, Sharanagati, if you can, like Lord Shiva, say, you know what, oh Lord, this is due to your grace. Anything good and bad that comes into our life is due to what? The grace of Bhagavan. Isn't that true? Whatever comes to us in life, understand this. That is prasadam. Whatever comes. But we only like sweet prasadam. That's the problem. If something's a little namkin, right? We don't like that. I remember in India, I never liked salty. You know, they used to put the salt in the chas, in that buttermilk. And I used to be like, what is this? But prasadam should be taken no matter how bitter or how sweet. This is the thing. And what we do with that prasadam is what? The offering back to God. Do you know what this is called? Ishvara prasada buddhi, or Ishvara arpana buddhi. Offering anything back to the Lord with what? A smile. In any situation, whether good or bad, if I can be steadfast, if I can keep my composure, if I can have the ability to move forward, like Lord Shiva is doing right now, if I can have the ability to acknowledge a higher presence's role in the good and bad in my life, this is the first step to being what? Shraddhavan, or filled with Shraddha. Okay? So as we look at this, we can't help but respect Lord Shiva for this. Hari Ichha Bhavi Balavana. And he acknowledges one more thing. He doesn't only bow to Maya. What does he say? Hari Ichha, the will of Bhagavan. Now he's addressing something more different, even deeper. He's saying that whatever we go through in life is due to the will of God. Have you ever heard the terminology karma phala? Karma phala data. What we sow is what we reap, and vice versa. Right? For anyone, we have to take into consideration that there is a higher plan for all of us. Some people in this life, they say, oh Bhagavan, I'm suffering so much, but I'm such a good person. But here's the thing, you may be a good person here, but in a previous embodiment, we have no clue. This is the truth of the matter. And we all believe in reincarnation, don't we? And we all know that the tendency to do bad is sometimes more prevalent. Not in this birth, but maybe in a past life. So whatever we endure here, understand that Ishvara, being karma phala data, or the giver of our fruits of actions, right? Because we all know how that happens, right? You have sanchita karma, which is the total collection of what? Punya and papa. In this embodiment, how did we get the human birth? Human birth comes because of a direct equilibrium between punya and papa. When you would have expired in the previous birth, because you had an equilibrium, you came to earth. Understand? In a previous embodiment, if you ended up as a devata, say you were born again as a higher being, you would have had a surplus of punya and a very minimal amount of papa. So upon death, those punyas would have taken you to higher realms. Say a person ends up again as a lizard or something. And this happens because the soul in me is the same as the soul as a lizard. It just expresses differently in this equipment. How did that lizard appear to be a lizard? How did that embodiment become a lizard? This is how it happens. Papas in the previous human embodiment were higher than what? Punyas, right? So when that happens at the time of death, that person enters what? A Papa Yoni. There is no such thing as heaven and Hell. No such thing. Heaven and that place is right here. The soul, again, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Mananam, Maranam, not Mananam, Maranam. This happens automatically. Birth and death. And guess what? We never know which body we will end up in. That's why we have to do our best here. When I tell the kids in New York this, they totally get scared. They say, no more nightclub for me. They say, I'm going to the mandir every Sunday now. I want punya because I want to be either a devata or another human being. So this is the thing. If we have faith in this power of Hari, His will be there no matter what. From that sanchita or total collection. Sanchit means what? Well collected. Sanchita means the well collected bank of punyas and papas based on purva janma. All of the lifetimes before collected there. And because of the equilibrium, again, we're here as a human birth. We never know. Remember, there's a 50-50 chance, right? If it's an equilibrium, 50-50 is there. 50 what? Percent punya and 50% pap. So in our life, we don't know which will come when. So when a good person is suffering, you have faith. You have steadfastness like Lord Shiva does. And you attribute that to what? The karma phaladata, which is Ishvara, Shri Ram. You see how it all ties into Vedanta? In the whole talk series so far, I must have covered only 3 chaupas. And all of these things are soaked in Vedanta. It's very easy for me to say, Sati talked to Shiva, lied, then went and burned herself. Very easy for me to say that. Get lost in the story. But Sri Ram Manas, even though very entertaining, the story is very entertaining, is soaked in Vedantic principles. So what is the lesson of tonight? No matter what happens in your life, have faith that Lord Shiva, just like Lord Shiva, you must have faith that Maya or Karma Phaladata, the total mind, knows the best for all of us. And we must remain calm, and we must remain steadfast, and we must think and not worry when we're working ourselves out of a problem. Okay?